All right. Looks like we are live. Welcome everybody to the first ever Pugilist Corner. I'm Tavares. This is my boy Zach over here. Say what's up, Zach.
Hey, yo, what it do? The boy Big Hills representing. Let's get it.
All right. A little bit about me. If y'all ain't never watched none of my videos or anything like that. Big fight fan.
Big fight fan.
Down here in New Orleans. Zach coming out of Florida.
Representing the Jayville, Jacksonville. You know how we do it down here in the FLA.
Real good.
Let's get it.
This has been my dude for the better part of a decade right here. And we decided to start this thing up here. Yeah, we basically about to start hitting on this Joshua Parker Wilder topic right here.
And Dillian Whyte. Go ahead, put him in there.
Dillian Whyte and that whole situation that's going on right there. Before we started this, Zach was breaking some stuff down, man. So go ahead and share with him what you was breaking down there, Zach, man.
All right, yeah. So, it's your boy, Zach. To give you a little background on me and Jay, man, we've been boxing critics and pugilists since we met each other. Like, we clicked with boxing. Man, we got the same thing in common, you know what I'm saying? So it's like we've been and we got a lot of like views and we got a lot of boxing knowledge. So when we kick this knowledge to y'all, take it for what it's worth, because we have facts to back up everything that we're saying. And if you guys don't want to believe us, you can go look it up for yourself. So like he was saying, okay, everybody know that Deontay Wilder has been trying to fight Anthony Joshua for the past year now? Like seriously trying to fight him for the past year, And what we're trying to figure out is why everybody always questioning who Deontay Wilder has fought and his resume. And I sit here and I say to you guys, is why I want you guys to really always question it. Like Deontay Wilder has fought and his resume. And I sit here and I say to you guys, all right, hold on. Something ain't right now. All right, I'm back. All right, now I want you guys to really sit here and analyze Anthony Joshua's resume. We're going to do the top 5 heavyweights. So Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Luis King Kong Ortiz, Joseph Parker, and I'll throw in Dillian Whyte for the UK fans. Because for some reason, people feel like because Dillian Whyte knocked out a mediocre Lucas Brown, and I'm not going to call him a bum because I don't think none of the heavyweights are bums. They all are professional fighters. And I want to get this out right now. They all are professional fighters, and we as fans have no right to call any of them bums. For one reason only, they will not call us out if we was to fight them in the ring, because they have learned this from the time they was younger and up, and their hand skills are pretty legit. Just because it might not be more legit than the guy that's knocking them out or beating them, that don't mean that their hand skills not legit and they're not certified. So we got to get these guys, they just do. But long story short, so I was looking at the rankings, the WBC rankings, right? So I'm trying to figure out how Dillian Whyte is the ranked number 1 WBC. He's not the mandatory, but he's ranked number 1. We're going to do the best top 3 wins, and then Tavares can jump in whenever he wants to. So his top 3 wins are Robert Helenius he's number 22. His next top win is Derek Chisora, who's ranked number 14. And then they want to say Lucas Brown is his premier fight, his fight to get him the Wilder fight. Lucas Brown, you guys, are y'all ready? I'm going to even give y'all a little fake drum roll. He's ranked number 13. So I'm trying to figure out, why everybody's trying to say he needs to fight Deontay Wilder. And he has not fought a top 10 heavyweight. If you look at what's the guy named, Jay? Freaking Dominic Brazil. Dominic Brazil just beat somebody who was in the top 10, and now he's number like 26 or 27 now. Matt Bobad, he's 21. So he's still ranked in front of some of Dillian Whyte's best opponents that he has fought. But he beat Eric Molina. So he beat somebody at that time when he fought him that was in the top 10. Another guy that he fought, Dominic Brazil. What's the guy from Australia, Jay? That's trained by the same trainer as Joseph Parker, black guy.
Dominic Brazil beat him?
No. Yeah, Dominic Brazil did beat him. He beat him on the Wilder and Washington undercard. Remember?
Can't think of that kid's name, man.
I can't think of his name right now, neither, but that's another legit heavyweight. He was undefeated. He had like 18 wins and like 16 knockouts. So, and he was ranked in the top 10. So what we're trying to say is, what we don't get is all these casuals, because they're not hardcores. These casual fans are trying to always downplay the American heavyweight champion, the guy that has more title defenses than any heavyweight that's current right now. I want y'all to think about that. Why is it so hard for Deontay Wilder, who's 40-0, with 39 knockouts? Let me say that again. He's 40-0 with 39 knockouts. He has 7 title defenses. He's 8-0 in championship fights, but he has 7 title defenses. What more do he needs to prove to get an Anthony Joshua fight? I'm so sick of hearing people, oh, he's not known. Deontay Wilder is very known in the U.S., and he's known in the U.K. And he does something that no fighter in boxing does right now, and what we all watch boxing for. He delivers exciting fights with devastating knockouts. So what we're trying to figure out is, why is everybody downing the American heavyweight champion? Kudos. I get it. Y'all don't like some of his style. But y'all have to realize this guy also has amateur pedigree, because not everybody can go to the Olympics and win a bronze medal. He medaled. So for y'all to sit here and say he don't have skills or technique, you got to have some type of skill to go to the Olympics and win and medal. So people need to stop with saying this guy don't have skills. He don't have range savvy. He doesn't have smarts. He's very smart. If you look in the Luis Ortiz fight in the 10th round, he walked Luis Ortiz. He set him up with a devastating right hand that hurt him. Forget the 2 knockdowns. If you hear the shot that landed before he knocked him down, before those 2 knockdowns occurred, after he slung him on the ground, he hit this guy with a devastating right hand that he walked him into. He set him up with this right hand. So for people to sit here and say Deontay Wilder is not a great fighter in today's era, I beg to differ. And I know I might sound like I'm biased, but I'm fair because I'm an Anthony Joshua fan. I like AJ, but right now, to me, AJ is looking a little scared. He's looking like he don't want to fight with Wilder. We'll see if he call him out. We'll see if he not. And I'm kind of glad that Deontay Wilder didn't go over to England for one reason only, because he was going to get set up by who? Eddie Hearns. So I really think if Eddie Hearn was not in the picture, maybe the Wilder and Joshua fight and all the fight fans and hardcores like us would get the fight that we want. We want a unified heavyweight champion. We want one champion. We don't want 4 people, 4 champions with 4 different belts. We want one champion that got all the belts. And the only way that's going to happen is Eddie Hearn stop using excuses. Stop downplaying the only champion that has defended the belt 7 times, the only champion that has knocked out everybody he's fought, just like AJ, and he got double the fights as AJ. So I don't get it. I don't get it. Jay, you can hop in anytime. I don't get it, bro.
I mean, you pretty much said everything that I had to say about the situation. I mean, as far as like what I'm seeing, and I'm gonna just come out with it, man. When you're talking to the WBC or whatever, you're talking about that any basically sanctioning body, especially the WBC. You know, the WBC don't move unless money is involved with it. They know that.
All right.
Wilder versus White fight, especially in the UK, will make more money than a Wilder versus Brazil fight in the United States. That's just truth being told. I mean, I'm not being biased or whatever. Right now, heavyweight boxing is hot in the UK. Yeah. I mean, anytime you got Anthony Joshua selling out stadiums, you got to think about this. Look at the arena that Dillian White just fought Lucas Brown in. Lucas Brown. And he sold it out, packed it.
And you know what? And to jump in on that, it's because of America is way bigger than the UK. And right now, they have more diehard, and I hate to say it, but they have more diehard boxing fans. It's for such a small country. So I have to give the UK fans a lot of props for supporting all their fighters, no matter how mediocre they are. Because to me, if Deontay Wilder was to fight Dillian White, that fight doesn't go 5 rounds, Jay. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
I wouldn't say 5, but I don't think it goes past like 8. I think
it won't go past 5. You got to realize people want to judge the Ortiz fight.
Yeah, I know fully well what you're saying. That's
Ortiz is a southpaw. Is a southpaw. Dillian White is around the same height as Ortiz and Burmester Byrne. They're all around 6'3", 6'4", 6'3". We saw what Deontay Wilder does when he fights right-handed people. He has one of the best snappy jabs in the game. That fight does not go past 3 rounds. You heard it here first. It does not go past 3 rounds. That'll be over. And then after he knocks Dillian White out, I'm pretty sure that Eddie Hearn's going to try to throw up Gerald Miller, Big Baby Miller, another one of his fighters who I like Gerald Miller because he got charisma. But Gerald Miller, one thing that you're doing that I don't like, and I know Jay don't like, is you hating on your fellow American. You making this why? It should be y'all against the UK, because the UK people, you don't never hear Dillian White hating on Anthony Joshua. They always give each other props, whereas us in America, we down our own each other. Why? Why are you hating on Deontay Wilder? Why? I just want to know why. Why are you hating on him? You and Dominic Brazil. If anything, y'all should be getting behind y'all heavyweight champion. You saw what happened when you get behind Deontay Wilder. Look at Gerald Washington. He always complimented the champ. Guess what? Gerald Washington got a shot at the heavyweight title. I'm just saying, right? Common sense. All that stuff that y'all be saying about the guy. He's scared to fight Ortiz. Why do everybody is so harsh on Deontay? Because you can say the same thing about Joshua. Because wasn't Luis Ortiz Joshua mandatory?
Yeah.
And Deontay Wilder fought his mandatory. I want everybody to realize that. Deontay Wilder fought Anthony Joshua's mandatory. Now, I'm looking at the top 5. Top 5 in the WBC, you got Colbert Pula. I don't agree with this one. I'm going to ask you, Jay, how the hell he get here. Alexander Povetkin. He popped twice in 2 sanctioning WBC eliminators. Twice. He popped once with the championship with Deontay. Then he popped again with Burmester Byrne. So what I'm trying to figure out is how he ranked number 4. Luis Ortiz just got knocked out by Deontay Wilder. He's still ranked number 3. Dominic Brazil, he's been doing a little dirty work, you guys. I got to give him his prop. He has You know, after he got knocked out by AJ with that disappointing performance, he's number 2. And Dillian White has the weakest resume out of the 5 people I just named. Is number 1. I wonder how. I got one name to say, Eddie Hearn. That's the only way possible that he's number 1. Jay, you got anything to say about with that one?
Like I said, in my opinion, it's not so much Eddie Hearn as it is the sanctioning body. Sanctioning bodies are going for money, man. These sanctioning bodies are. I don't care if it's the WBA, the WBO, IBF, or the WBC. When they see an opportunity to jump at money, they're going to jump at money. Right now, opportunity is, like I said, whether we as Americans like it or not being biased about the shit. Right now, the UK is a hotbed for heavyweight boxing.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, who all they got? They got Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua, Dillian White, David Haye. I mean, you're right. I agree with you. I'll be right back, you guys. I'll be right back, Jay.
Right now, UK is the hotbed for heavyweight boxing. And since it is such a hotbed, then guess what? That's where the money is. And anytime you got a guy that can pack out a stadium, not an arena, but a stadium, you don't think these sanctioning bodies are looking at that, paying attention to something like that? If you don't think the sanctioning bodies are paying attention to the influx of people getting into boxing in the UK or attending these boxing events in the UK, you're fucking foolish. That's just truth being told. You're fucking foolish. They see what's going on over there, and they see how hot it is, how the heavyweight division, how hot it is in the UK. Same thing with the cruiserweights. When the cruiserweights was hot in Germany, guess what? You seen the WBO over there. You seen the WBC title over there for a minute. You seen all that. Light heavyweight. We can go to the light heavyweight. When the light heavyweight was hot in Canada, look at all those championship fights that took place in Canada. You know? And the light heavyweight division is still kind of hot in Canada. But look at how many if you count the number of light heavyweight fights that has happened in Canada almost the past like 10 years almost. I mean, come on. These sanctioning bodies pay attention to stuff like that. So they're going to put people in positions where they can get that, they can keep that influx of money going on. They're going to keep these belts in certain areas to where people can defend them in those areas. They can charge these sanctioning fees and get a piece of the action. You know? Right now, stateside. Look at stateside. What's hot over here right now? Let's say the welterweight division. All right, Keith Thurman has 2 of the belts. Errol Spence has 1 of the belts. You know what I'm saying? That's 3 welterweight titles right here, stateside. But look at the welterweight division. Look at who the welterweight division is holding. Without question, the best welterweights are right here, stateside. The only welterweight title that isn't here is the WBO title from Jeff Horn. Who did they automatically make the #1 contender for the welterweight title without 1 welterweight fight? Not knocking him. Truth be told, I'm not knocking him. But the #1 contender for the WBO welterweight title, even though he hadn't had 1 welterweight fight, is Terrence Bud Crawford, another welterweight for the United States. So I think it's pretty obvious, and most people are going to say that Terrence Crawford is going to beat Jeff Horn. Once he beats Jeff Horn, now you have all 4 welterweight titles in the United States. You don't think the sanctioning bodies realize that? If you don't think the sanctioning bodies realize that, something is wrong. Because they know welterweight boxing is hot in the United States right now. What these sanctioning bodies are doing is very calculated. Very, very, very calculated. And like I said, right now, the heavyweight division is hot in the UK. And since the heavyweight division is hot in the UK, they're going to position people with belts to fight in the UK. Or if not, somewhere overseas. That's just truth being told. Anthony Joshua and Joseph Parker are about to do maybe 70, close to 80,000 people in a stadium tomorrow. I don't know money wise. I can't calculate that. I'm not in the UK or whatever. I know it's going to be shown on Sky Sports, which is a pay-per-view venture or whatever, but it's just truth being told. These sanctioning bodies position people usually as number one contenders in wherever that division is hot. You know?
I'm back, bro.
Yeah.
Catch me up to speed. What you talking about now?
I'm just showing people how these sanctioning bodies work as far as like the business side of boxing. And I hate to use that word, the business side of boxing. It's people use it loosely at times, but this is the business side of boxing with these sanctioning bodies too. I was just using a couple of countries for example. I said right now the heavyweight division is hiding in the UK. That's why you're seeing all these heavyweight fights happening in the UK. I used the light heavyweight division for example. If you look at the light heavyweight division for a while, even still now, it was hot in Canada. Look at all those light heavyweight fights that happened in Canada over the past 10 years.
Donna Stevenson that made that place, made it hot. Him and who was it? Sean Pascal.
John Pascal. Yep. I used the welterweight division as far as like the United States. You know what I'm saying? You got 3 welterweight titles in the United States right now: the WBA, the WBC, and the IBF. The only one that's not in the United States right now is the WBO. That's being held by Jeff Horn. But who was the number one contender? Who is he about to face right now for the WBO welterweight title without having one fight at one?
In my opinion, the pound for pound best fighter right now in the world, and Terrence Bud Crawford. He's the only person that cleaned out his division. Only person. Yep. And I want y'all to realize that. And I'm a big Floyd Mayweather fan. Floyd Mayweather was like one of the greatest fighters I've ever seen in my time here on this God green earth. But Terrence Crawford has done something that Floyd Mayweather never done. And that's on all 4 belts in one division and cleaned it out. And he cleaned it out. He fought all the top four champions and cleaned them out. So right now, he is my pound for pound number one. And I'm not just saying that because I know him. I do know his dad real well. Terrence Crawford dad, Mr. Crawford. I do know him very well. But Terrence Crawford to me is number one, followed by Lomachenko. I hate to put him there, but Lomachenko, the way he beat Rigondeaux, like y'all got to realize Rigondeaux beat a lot of good fighters and made him look mediocre. But when he fought Lomachenko made him look bad. But with that being said, Lomachenko don't even want to give Gary Russell a rematch, and that's another good fighter. But we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about the heavyweight division. Right now, Deontay Wilder's in my top 5. I don't care what y'all say. Y'all can sound biased, but the guy has 7 title defenses. Let me say that again. To those who don't know how hard that is, Mike Tyson never had 7 title defenses. Let me say that again. The great Mike Tyson has never had 7 title defenses. The great Lennox Lewis, y'all can say whatever you want, but I'm just speaking facts, has never had 7 title defenses. Who else? Oh, yeah. Neither has Evander Holyfield. And I get it what y'all going to say. They was fighting each other, that's why. Which may be true, but you got to realize Deontay Wilder is well on his way to doing what Klitschko did, if not even more impressively, because he knocks out all his opponents. And I go out on the limb right now and say if he fight anybody, he's probably the most devastating one-punch knockout puncher that we have seen ever. What did you say, Jay?
He's up there. He's definitely top 5.
I mean, Julian Jackson, and I know a lot of y'all youngsters don't know who that is, middleweight. Julian Jackson probably is like top 2. Would you say that, Jay? Top 2 hardest punches ever?
It's hard to say. it's hard to say. I mean, to
not that even
dude, errors, but it's just
that dude can punch, man. If y'all don't know who that is, we got YouTube. Go look him up.
That's why I always use that term top 5 because it's hard to say, hey, this person, you know what I'm saying, is the hardest, and this person is the hardest, and this, that, and the third.
But you gotta listen to the fighters that fought George Foreman, because right now George Foreman, if I had to pick on a list, it's George Foreman. We just talking about devastating punches, regardless of the weight class. You got George Foreman. You got Julian Jackson. You got Deontay Wilder. Regardless of what y'all say, he has 40 professional fights. He has made heavyweight history. Let me repeat that again. Heavyweight history. He's 40-0 with 39 knockouts. Now, no heavyweight has ever done it. If people want to say Mike Tyson, I want y'all to look at Mike Tyson's resume when he was knocking out everybody. I want y'all to think about this now. I want y'all to really think about this. And it's not hating on Mike. I love Mike Tyson. I cried when he lost to Buster Douglas. I thought they cheated. I said the referee was counting like Mario was counting on the on Mike Tyson punch out. You know, that hurt me to my soul that Mike Tyson lost to Buster Douglas. But long story short, Mike Tyson has never done it. Rocky Marciano has never done it. And I'm just naming Joe Louis, greats. I'm naming greats now. What Deontay Wilder has achieved with knocking out 39 opponents in 40 fights, he has the best knockout ratio of anybody heavyweight that has 40 wins with 39 knockouts. I don't think the American public, Jay, realized Deontay Wilder might be a once-in-a-lifetime fighter, and we're not appreciating what he's doing like we was doing when Mike Tyson was fighting. Because you got to realize Mike Tyson fought a lot of bums on his way through the heavyweight rankings. I want y'all to think about that. He fought a lot of, as you want to say, tomato cans of cab drivers that Deontay Wilder fought. And guess what? He was knocking them out. And what Deontay Wilder was doing, knocking them out. But I will slightly have to favor Deontay Wilder record a little better because Deontay Wilder has knocked out some pretty good heavyweights despite what anybody think, because either they was undefeated or they had one loss when they fought Deontay and he still knocked them out. And those heavyweights that he knocked out has gone on to beat other good heavyweights. Look at Johann Duhaupas. He was the first person to give Robert Helenius his loss. He knocked Robert Helenius out. It's the same guy that y'all said was trash and a bum, but y'all giving Dillian Whyte credit for beating Robert Helenius. Deontay Wilder knocked Johann Duhaupas out. Johann Duhaupas beat and knocked out Robert Helenius. This is what I want y'all to see. Eric Molina, another one that y'all said was trash and garbage. He knocked out Thomas Adamant and Thomas Adamant backyard. This is after Deontay Wilder had knocked him out. So for people to sit here and say that this guy has not fought any good heavyweights or decent heavyweights, I beg to differ. Arthur Spicker. It took Brian Jennings damn near 12 rounds to get a stoppage. It was a stoppage. The referee stopped it, and he walked away out the ring and was fine. When Deontay Wilder fought him, what happened? We all know what happened. He fractured his neck. So if y'all didn't know that, Deontay Wilder actually fractured Arthur Spilker's neck. Who's another fighter that they don't give Deontay Wilder credit for, Jay? Berman Stavern. This is the same Berman Stavern that beat up Chris Arreola and knocked him out. A Chris Arreola that fought Vitaly Klitschko, and the referee, his team threw the towel in, but Vitaly Klitschko couldn't knock him out. I want y'all to realize this. What happened when he fought Deontay Wilder? He got knocked out. What happened when Berman Stavern fought Deontay Wilder the second time? He got knocked out. This is what I'm trying to get y'all to see, man. we have a once-in-a-lifetime heavyweight who is doing remarkable things, and yet we criticize him, and y'all say he's fought nothing but bums, but in all actuality, his resume is better than Joshua, because I put the Luis King Kong Ortiz win up there better. I think that's a better win than Klitschko. People want to give him so much praise for Klitschko. Klitschko is a legend, but we got to be realistic. Klitschko wasn't the same after Tyson Fury beat him. Wasn't the same. And I'm gonna even go a step further and say Klitschko ain't been the same since the late great Emanuel Stewart has not been in this corner. What you got to say about that, Jay?
I think Emanuel Stewart passing really hurt. I mean, you say since that fight with Fury, he didn't look good at all in that fight. Like, at all.
Exactly. That's my point.
I mean, I'm not taking any credit away from Jonathan Banks or anything like that, but, you know.
He's no Emanuel Stewart. Emanuel Stewart got the best out of Klitschko.
Klitschko didn't look like Vladimir Klitschko at all at that during that fight. I mean, I was shocked. He wasn't letting his hands go or anything. He was just, he was just letting Fury do anything he wanted in that fight. And you ask me, the only explanation for that is because he wasn't trained by Emanuel Stewart. He didn't have, and not only that, he didn't have that motivation in the corner that Emanuel Stewart would provide. Emanuel Stewart would, get in his head, saying, yell at him, make him do something, give him some kind of direction. You didn't see that from Jonathan Banks, So
when he had Anthony Joshua hurt, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if he had Emanuel Stewart in his corner, Emanuel would have told him, go in for the kill. This your moment to solidify your legacy. And I guarantee you, he probably would have went there and knocked Joshua out. Now, I'm not hating on Joshua. I like Anthony Joshua. But I think Anthony Joshua has been spoon-fed the titles. His only legit victory is over Vladimir Klitschko, who lost really bad and gave a poor performance in 2015 to Tyson Fury. And then he had a 2-year layoff and came back and fought Anthony Joshua. No tune-up fight or anything. So for people to sit here and all the UK fans, I love all the UK fans, but y'all have to realize, and I want y'all to use y'all boxing intellect if y'all really are hardcore fans like me and Tomorrow. Only reason why you can give him credit is because Klitschko dominated the heavyweight division from 2005 to 2015 for 10 years because it wasn't no giant heavyweights during that time to oppose him besides his brother, which that them two wasn't going to fight. So that being said, you got to look at how Anthony Joshua was spoon-fed the titles. He fought Charles Martin, who won the title off a guy tearing his knee up in the third round, Jay?
Yeah, I think it was the third round.
In the third round. And then he went for the bag and went and fought AJ because Eddie Hearn see, this is what I'm talking about by Eddie Hearn. They made that fight so fast with Charles Martin because they knew Charles Martin is a mediocre heavyweight and he won the heavyweight championship. And they paid him $6 million for that fight. So I can understand why Charles Martin took it, but we all know Charles Martin not going to beat no Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua really didn't earn that IBF belt. Pretty much to me, it's like he was given it. At least Deontay Wilder fought Berman Stavern, who beat rugged and tough Chris Arreola, who really did not get knocked out by Vitaly Klitschko. The referee stopped it because the corner threw in the towel in the 11th round. He went 11 rounds with Vitaly Klitschko and was still on his feet. So it's just like y'all got to realize the toughness of who done fought tougher fighters. Now, with that being said, Luis King Kong Ortiz, I have to give that win Deontay Wilder fought him better than Anthony Joshua win over Vladimir Klitschko. Now, Vladimir Klitschko, like I said, is a legend, and he has the boxing pedigree if you look at how long he's been fighting. But with that being said, like, y'all really gotta like think, like, come on, look, dig deep. Like, anytime that Vladimir Klitschko is in there with somebody that can punch, he got knocked out. He got knocked out. He just so happened to be in an era where, like we said, for those 10 years, he never fought anybody that was his size or bigger. And Jay called it and said that Tyson Fury was going to beat him because Vladimir Klitschko didn't never fought anybody that big before, and it would be awkward for him. I thought Vladimir hit Tyson Fury on the chin, he would get him out of there. And the only reason why I thought that is because Tyson Fury fought Steve Cunningham, who was a cruiserweight, and got dropped. Let me say it again. Dropped by a cruiserweight. So it's just like, you get hit by Klitschko. Klitschko, I was using common sense, but no, Tyson Fury beat him. You know what I'm saying? And to me, Tyson Fury is the biggest question mark with asterisks by his name, because if he can get in shape and he can get himself back focused on boxing, now we got another key player besides, let's get the Wilder and AJ fight. But the winner fight Tyson Fury. They'll go another big fight in the heavyweight. And I know we still talking about Joshua and Wilder, but let's not look over Joseph Parker. I got to give Joseph Parker his credit. That's another person that has a better resume than Anthony Joshua. I want y'all to think about it. There's another person that has a better resume. Only person good Anthony Joshua fought is who? Vladimir Klitschko. Think about it. Dillian White, he's still not proven to me. Until Dillian White fight a top 10 person, only top 10 person he fought was AJ, and that was 2 years ago before AJ was a champion. So that's what y'all got to look at. He fought AJ 2 years ago before AJ was a champion. 2.5 years ago, because they fought December 2015. So y'all need to look at that for the hardcore boxing fans, and even for the casuals. But I think y'all let promoters and stuff like mess with y'all brains, and y'all thought of logic and putting 2 and 2 together. Right now, the person that should be the kingpin of the heavyweight division is Deontay Wilder. It's not our fault or his fault that he got cheated out of 2 legitimate heavyweights. And they both was from Russia. I don't got to say their names. Y'all know who they are. But they pop for drugs. So that's not Deontay Wilder's fault. Why we hold him accountable for something that other people did? Now let's keep it going. He fought the most dangerous heavyweight in the division, the boogeyman, the person that Eddie Hearns, and I want y'all to think about what I'm about to tell y'all. He was Anthony Joshua's mandatory for the WBA after Anthony Joshua beat Vladimir Klitschko, right? Eddie Hearns signed Luis King Kong Ortiz because he was the mandatory to keep what? Luis King Kong Ortiz away from who? Anthony Joshua. Why? Because if you promote both of them, you can dictate when that fight's going to be because you're their promoter. Am I making sense now to everybody? Jay, you following me?
Yeah, I'm following.
You follow what I'm saying? Like, people need to quit being tricked and bamboozled about Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is a great puppet master. And that's what I'm going to call him, a great puppet master. And he's really, like, tricking the people in the UK. Only fighter, like, in the UK that you can really, like, give props to that actually, and I can't even say that because, I can say that, Tyson Fury. And the reason why I say Tyson Fury is because he fought Klitschko when Klitschko was a what, Jay? A champion. Klitschko was the lineal champion when he beat him. But yet we don't give Tyson Fury enough credit for beating a better Klitschko than AJ. AJ beat a Klitschko that was coming off a 2.5 year layoff. And on top of that, they beat a Klitschko that wasn't a champion because he had already lost to Tyson Fury. So I wish people would stop blowing so much smoke over this Vladimir Klitschko win and holding it like it's just like the holy grail of wins, because that win, in my eyes, and I know in Tavares' eyes as well, is a B+, B- win. Whereas Deontay Wilder fought an A+ guy in Luis King Kong Ortiz. And I tell you right now, and I know Jay can back me up after I'm done, Luis King Kong Ortiz, and I'm going on the line right now. If he fights Dillian White, he beats Dillian White in 5. Devastating knockout. If he fights Anthony Joshua, he beat him in 10. You heard it here first. If Luis King Kong Ortiz wants to fight Tyson Fury, that'll be a good fight. I think that'll go to a unanimous decision. But these are all the people that I think that this dude can beat. And Deontay Wilder fought him. This the guy that y'all say has no skill. This the guy y'all say that don't got no boxing ability at all. He swings wild. Y'all like, oh, he's swinging wild. I want y'all to realize this. When have y'all seen Deontay Wilder in a fight when he fought somebody serious swing all crazy? Because when he fought Mr. Burns the first time, he didn't swing crazy. When he fought him the second time, he didn't swing crazy. When he fought King Kong Ortiz, those weren't wild punches. No matter what y'all say, those punches were landing. And they was accurate as fuck. When they showed it from the top angle, those were some accurate-ass punches. They looked like they was wild, but they wasn't. Now, I can't say that when he fought Gerald Washington. He was a little wild, but he got him out of there. And when he fought Arthur Spilka, he wasn't wild either. That was like one of the most best set-up right hands I've seen in a long time. When he fought Sergey Lahovich, I want y'all to go back and see like all the people that Deontay beat. Deontay has a better resume. He beat Malik Scott. Deontay beat Kevin Price, who was undefeated. He beat Sergey Lahovich. He beat Mr. Vern twice. Did I say Malik Scott already, Jay?
Mm-hmm.
Deontay Wilder beat Johan Duhaupas. He also beat Arthur Spilka. Luis King Kong Ortiz. Gerald Washington. I'm just saying he has a better resume. And y'all don't give him no credit for it. Look at these guys in the heavyweight. These are good heavyweights that he beat in his heavyweight talent pool that we have. He has fought the tougher fighters. So what I'm trying to get is like, why is this guy not getting the credit that he deserves? It makes no sense. None. None at all. But I'm pulling for, and I'm saying it here live on YouTube, I'm pulling for Joseph Parker. The reason why I'm pulling for Joseph Parker is because I think if AJ wins, he's not going to give the diehard fans or the casual fans the fight that we want to see. Eddie Hearn, go sit your ass down somewhere. Nobody want to see Dillian White, Deontay Wilder. We want to see Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. That's if God permits Anthony Joshua to win, because he's going to be in there with a Maui. And when I say a Maui, y'all better look at the history of Maui. Look up their descent. They are very tough and rugged people. And I'm telling you guys, that fight with Joseph Parker, for everybody that's writing Joseph Parker off, you're a fool. I'm picking Joseph Parker to upset Anthony Joshua. I really am. I'm picking him to upset him. If what me and Jay was talking about earlier is not, it's not true. Me and him think it is, but Anthony Joshua is looking a little suspect on the muscular side. This guy lost 10 pounds for this fight, and he's still a little dramatically ripped and big like a bodybuilder. Am I wrong or right, Jay?
Yeah. I mean, Joseph Parker hinted at it when the fight was being negotiated and everything else. But you know, I'm more or less like in boxing in general. I like testing, like the way they testing whatever with cutoffs and beginning dates and stuff like that. I'm more like these guys are athletes that should be tested regularly year round.
At least twice a month.
You know, do random testing year round because like you look at Canelo's situation right now.
Nobody would have never thought Canelo was on steroids.
I don't know about that. People, like I said, it was rumors around Canelo even before the testing came out. You know, before he even, got the positive, but it was rumors around Canelo. There's been rumors around Canelo for at least 3 years that I've heard. So that being said, I feel like all fighters should be basically, if you are promoted or whatever, all fighters should be submitted to drug testing year round. Year round. No cutoff dates, random testing.
I agree. I think it should be year-round testing. I feel like, why does Deontay Wilder always gotta, pay for his fighters to get tested? And when Floyd Mayweather was fighting his fighters to get tested, I mean, for a long time I thought Triple G was on something. I don't care what nobody say. Y'all can be like, oh, you just being biased. No, I'm not being. I'm being dead serious. I thought Triple G was actually on some stuff. I really did, because some of the things he was doing was just, it was like, gosh, he would hit people and they would just fall, like, I don't know. I'm not saying that he was, but he was a little suspect to me. Anthony Joshua was just suspect to me because he went from wearing 228 at the beginning of 2014 to a massive 260-pound heavyweight later on, like a year and a half later for the Vladimir Klitschko fight. That's like 35 pounds, almost 30, 35 pounds of muscle. Like, you just don't gain 30, 35 pounds of muscle like that and that quickly. So I don't know. I'm not saying you're on something, but he looked a little suspect at the weigh-in today. Like, he was like stupid ripped. Like, you got a Floyd Mayweather natural looking rip, but Anthony Joshua has that wet, like, bodybuilder, like Kai Green, like, rip look. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can see like all his goddamn muscle fibers and everything in his muscle. It could be genetics, but I don't know, man. I'm not trying to say AJ on something because I know we're gonna get a lot of UK fans hating, but what I will say is you guys just gotta check it out, man. Just look at it. It just don't look right. Just don't look right at all. So I mean, we can sit here and talk about boxing all day because I think, and this is off the subject, Jay, but I think the only person that can beat Errol Spence Jr. is Terrence Bud Crawford. I don't think Keith Thurman can beat him. I don't think he walks through Sean Porter. He walks through Danny Garcia. That's the only person out there that can beat Errol Spence. But I have to see Terrence beat Jeff Horn first. A legitimate welterweight. Now, if he can beat Jeff Horn, Jay, and legitimately, Errol Spence got some heat besides Keith Thurman in this division. If Terrence Bud Crawford can beat Jeff Horn legitimately with no struggles, Terrence Crawford, if he can do that, Terrence Crawford will be probably the best welterweight off of that, because right now, Earl Spence is the Luis Ortiz without the steroids of the welterweight division and the champion. People don't want to fight him, just like they didn't want to fight Luis Ortiz, and Deontay Wilder just finally got the courage and fought him. And what happened? He knocked him out. So, you know, y'all people got to look at stuff like that, man. I sound like I'm beating the dead bush, but I'm not. Like, I'm just trying to, you know, let it sink in you guys' heads, man. Like, stop. Enough is enough with the Eddie Hearn stuff. That shit really, like, irks me. Like, I don't like to see that. Don't like to see that at all, and I'm glad. I keep saying I'm glad that Deontay Wilder did not, and I mean did not go over there, because we already know it was a part of Eddie Hearn's plans to throw Dillian White in Deontay Wilder's face so he can't get in the ring to confront Anthony Joshua. That was like one of the best career moves I think Deontay Wilder did. Why go over there and not get what you want? Well, you can stay here and get what you want. You see what I'm saying? That was smart. But shout out to the boxing boys. You know, I watch you guys a lot. You guys are pretty good. Sometimes I think Ness be biased, and same as the Spanish guy. I can't think of his name right now. Matt. Matt's very biased because I think you guys are supposed to be like me and Jay. Y'all supposed to be boxing pugilists and stuff, but y'all let y'all personal like pride and fan base get into some of y'all interviews and stuff. Like y'all both know that Eddie Hearn is blowing smoke and trying to stall out the Joshua Wilder fight. Why entertain Dillian White? Who cares about career high payday? And just to say a career high payday, that would not be Deontay Wilder's career high payday if they gave him $4 million. I think everybody forget that he fought. He was about to fight Alexander Povetkin, and he's going to get $5 million. So how is that his biggest purse bid when he can get $5 million for the Alexander Povetkin fight, which he went to court so that he can get the money, and he won in court. So again, how would that be his career high payday if he already got $5 million from fighting, for not fighting Alexander Povetkin because he popped for steroids? All right, that's my thought, man. Jay, you can go ahead and wrap it out, bro.
How do you think on this fight tomorrow? How do you think this fight gonna
go? So the first 2 rounds will be fill-out rounds. I think Joseph Parker will be trying to fill him out to see how he is, to test Anthony Joshua's speed, see if he gained any speed. And then most importantly, I think Joseph Parker is going to try to test his power out. And then not his own power, but Joshua's power. And if he feels like he can take Joshua's punches, then you will see an amazing fight. Now, if Joseph Parker in the first 2 rounds feel like he can't take Anthony Joshua punches, then we're going to have a long night. You feel me? It's going to be a long night, but that's my predictions.
I don't have a prediction per se. I just I see it. This is going to be a very interesting fight because it's such a contrast.
You got a faster, shorter fighter against a tall, devastating puncher.
I can only go by like their last performances. You know, what you showed me last is what I'm going to judge you by. Last time I seen
Joshua
was against Carlos Takam, and Takam gave him problems for a good little bit. Just with head movement, I noticed that. With head movement, I thought the fight was stopped way too early. I don't think Takam was in like that much of danger of like getting really hurt or even knocked down. But still, I felt that Takam was presenting a lot of problems to Joshua that Joshua really probably hadn't seen before. And there's a lot of similarities between Takam and Parker. I think they sparred together for a while. And matter of fact, Joshua was sparring Takam this training camp just to get used to that. So that says a lot. But here's the thing. I think Parker has way faster hands than Tackle.
He does.
I think he has way faster hands, and I think he hits a tad bit harder than Tackle. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic. And also, I don't see, like, when we're talking about Parker, I don't see Parker. Well, I don't see Joshua, should I say, having as much success. Because truth be told, I thought Parker lost his last fight against Hughie Fury. I thought he lost his last fight.
I thought it should have been a draw. I ain't gonna say lost.
I thought he lost it. I thought
it should have been a draw. Hughie Fury was running, and then you got to beat the champ.
You can't say he was running because he was actually throwing punches. It was just that he was getting out of the way when Parker tried to throw something back. You can't really call that running. You can say he was milling around.
Yeah, the art of getting hit and not getting hit.
He was boxing beautifully. And the thing is, Joshua was a complete 180 from what Hughie Fury was. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that is not going to be Anthony Joshua. The Hughie Fury style of milling around the ring, jab, power punch here, that's not going to be Anthony Joshua. And if Anthony Joshua tried that, I doubt he can sustain that for 12 straight rounds. So he's gonna be flat-footed at one point in the match unless he gets Parker out of there early. So he's gonna be very flat-footed. I say around 5th, 6th round, and around the 5th and 6th round, that's when we're gonna find out who really wants to win this fight.
Yeah,
around the 5th and 6th round. And like I said, I don't know if Joshua's hand speed is gonna give
him the edge.
Excuse me, Parker's hand speed is gonna give him an edge in this fight because he's also giving up 7 inches reach. So he's got to get in to do so. And it's going to be kind of hard because, Joshua has a pretty decent jab. I wouldn't say the best jab in the heavyweight division. He has a pretty decent jab.
That's the 3rd best jab in the heavyweight division.
I think that's going to be a dynamic. Can Parker get in and work his hands? And if so, will Joshua be smart enough to hold? And if he does hold, how does that look to the judges? Like I said, if Parker can keep it kind of close those first 6 rounds, which I think he will probably be able to do. If he can keep it close those first 6 rounds, come that round 7, 8, on to the championship rounds, we're going to have a very, very, very interesting fight.
You know what? I have to agree with you. We are, because we all know that Anthony Joshua is a proven person that gas out in his fights. His last 3 fights, he has gassed out. So you own something right there. I must agree and admit with you. You are very spot on, Jay, with your analysis of how the fight will play out. But like I said, it's all gonna come down to me for toughness. And I'm telling you, that dude is a Maui. He's a Maui. So with that being said, that's like one of the most toughest Samoan, tribes that you could think of. So, like I said, man, that's gonna be a tough fight. If you lose, then it's like have your cake and your bitter cake and sweet cake mixed together. Because if he loses, then Joseph Parker, I think, will call out Deontay Wilder and fight Deontay Wilder because he's not scared. But Anthony Joshua wins, Anthony Joshua's going to call out Tyson Fury. And he's going to try not to fight Deontay Wilder until either the beginning of next year or the end of this year. That's just my assumption.
I don't think either calls out Deontay Wilder after this fight. I think all we're getting this summer, whether we want it or not, or we like it or not, it's probably going to be Deontay Wilder and Dillian White. This is probably just going to make sense. But I don't think we're going to get that fight. I don't think we're going to get the fight we want.
I don't think we're going to get the Deontay Wilder and Dillian White fight. Now, I think we're going to get Deontay Wilder and Dominic Brazil.
I think
we get that.
If Parker does win, and he's looking for a rematch. Parker's going straight for a rematch because I heard Parker's taking like 35, somewhere around 30 to 35% of the purse for this fight. So he's gonna flip that around. He's gonna be like, all right, I took 35 last time. This time you're taking 35. I'm taking 65. We're gonna do this in Australia. You know, I think that's what's gonna happen next time if Parker were to win.
Did you hear that proposal that Deontay gave Eddie Hearn?
Yeah, I heard it. I mean,
he said he will fight Anthony Joshua with 10%. 10%. As long as Anthony Joshua does what? Return the favor after you knock him out. That's fair.
Yeah, I think that's only fair.
That's fair. That's fair as fuck.
I think that's only fair. Will it happen? Nah. I don't think
it will. No, but that's fair.
Because even though he put that proposal out and it's very fair, he was right about one thing. Every interview, whether he brings up Wilder or not, even with I watched the Sky Sports Off the Record interview with Anthony Joshua. I don't know if you've seen that, but even then he was bringing up the chances of him losing.
Yep.
Like people went on about today about Wilder saying he wanted to catch a body in the ring and this, that, and the third, and I'm like, okay, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with him saying, hey, I want to catch a body in the ring? You're in the pain game. You understand what I'm saying? You talk. People
you are in to get hit and not get hit.
Bringing up the times that Mike Tyson was talking about killing people and eating their kids, and him wanting to knock people's nose bones in their brains and killing them, and this, that, and the third, yada yada. That's the mentality of a champion. That's a mentality with somebody with heart. You know, you have to turn in that type of person
in order to beat that person. Yep.
Yeah, you have to be that type of person. You cannot be in a boxing ring trying to do the least amount of damage to your opponent as you possibly can. I've never heard a boxer that actually went anywhere in life doing that. You're going to wish ill will, whether it's breaking ribs or whatever. You're going to do your best to incapacitate your opponent to win that fight. You know, I'm sure he doesn't want to kill anybody, but if, you know what I'm saying, if the circumstances come to it, hey, you know, It is what it is, you know? You're not in this game to be friends. When you in the pain game, you know this person is going to do their best to get you out of there. So you got to return the favor to them. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. You got to have that mentality. The one thing any true champ, perfect example. I'm going to give you a perfect example here. Adrian Broner.
Oh, yeah, when he got hit by Marcos McDonald. Yeah.
Adrian Broner has, what, like 3 losses on this record?
Yeah.
And every time you hear him talking, he's saying, you know what, that's the last loss I'm going to take. That's the last. Losing doesn't come into that man's mind. As much as we hate, well, I ain't going to say we, but as much as people hate Adrian Broner and everybody dislikes how he is outside the ring, this, that, and the third, how we feel he's not taking his career seriously, this, that, and the third, even despite all that, Adrian Broner does not have taken an L in his mind anytime he steps into that ring. He doesn't think he's going to lose again, you know? So for a guy that's undefeated to bring up, hey, you know, my biggest fear is losing. I can't lose. I can't lose.
Yeah, I was shocked.
Even be coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, I was shocked when I heard that.
And he says it every interview. Not even referring to Wilder, referring to Parker, referring to Tackle. I've heard this man say that, referring to Klitschko. Heard the man say that. Losing should not be a part of your vocabulary. Losing shouldn't be a thought of your a part of your thought process.
Yep.
That should not be in your mind. Only winning, because only winners win. So, you know, it's things like that that just I don't know. I don't know. You don't hear Parker saying that.
Right. A respectable guy. We're not. I told you half of the stuff we get, Jay, is from Eddie Hearn. I don't care what nobody says.
Anything you heard from Parker, it's that they're doubting me. They're doubting me. When he says that, that's adding more motivation. That's him mentally psyching himself out to say, hey, they doubting me. I got to come in and do this, that, and the third, yada, yada, yada. Adding more motivation to him. But you never hear him say, my biggest fear is losing this fight. You never heard him say that one time. And everybody's talking about, look how relaxed and confident Parker is, because mentally he's already there. He's not thinking about losing. He's not looking across from Anthony Joshua at that way and like, this guy has a chance to beat me. He's like, no, he's not thinking that. He's thinking like, this guy's in my way. That's what he's thinking. This guy's in my way. This guy's in the way of me accomplishing my goals. I got to take him out. Not that I'm going to lose to him. Anthony Joshua is this guy's a dangerous guy. This, that, and the third. He's in my way, but it's a possibility. Anything can happen. That's Anthony Joshua's mind frame, that anything can happen mind frame.
Yep. He's a scary champion. I hate to say it that way.
And I don't know. I don't know. But as far as like what Wilder, I had no problem with what Wilder said today because he hasn't said anything that other champions of the past hasn't said.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You hear people all the time. Even Floyd said it. You know what I'm saying? I hate to bring Floyd up, but even Floyd said, hey, I'll die in this ring. Chavez Jr., Chavez Sr., all these guys. Duran, hey, I'll die in this ring. This, that, and the third. They actually talk about dying in the ring. You know, what Wilder said today, that's no shock to me. That's no shock to me. That's the mind frame that true champions and fighters that take their craft seriously, they come in the ring.
Yep. You're absolutely right. So, like, people, man, I just want to see this fight, man. Now the fan is coming out of the pugilist right now. I just want to see the fight, man. And granted, I'm rooting for Joshua to win, but I just think Joseph Parker might just run the apple cart of all apple cards and stop Anthony Joshua. I
favor Joshua, but I would not be surprised at all if Parker wins this fight. But right now, I'm favoring Joshua.
It remains to be seen, man. We'll find out tomorrow at 5.
Yeah, we'll find out tomorrow. And that being said, we'll be back tomorrow.
We'll be back tomorrow, exactly. Same time, same place. Hey, we out. Hey, hit the subscribe button on my boy thing, man. And if you guys like the video, hit them likes, man. Get us up, get us known, man. Because we got a lot of knowledge. TNZ got a lot of knowledge. Hey, we should have used that, Jay. TNZ. A lot of knowledge. But hey man, thank you guys for listening. If we had anybody listening, appreciate it, and we'll be back to kick more knowledge directly after the fight. Peace.